Hi everyone, my name is Elsa Sanchez and I'm an Adobe consultant here at the University of Arizona. And today I'm gonna go over creating patterns using the Symmetry tool in Photoshop. And to start off with patterns, I like to select a square. So we could do custom, and I like to do 500 by 500. We select create, and as you can see, our artboard is really far away from us. So to fix that, you can select Command 0 on a Mac or Control 0 on a Windows. You can also manipulate the size of our artboard by selecting Command _ or Command plus. So once we have the size that we like, we're gonna go ahead and open the drop down menu for our settings right there. We're gonna select the layer, and one of the things that you need to know when using the Symmetry tool is that live brushes don't work. So we're gonna go ahead and select the drop down menu for our brush tool, which is right there. And I personally like to use the brush tool. So once we have that, you can also manipulate the brush settings. I like to use the hard round pressure size brush, and the brush settings are just to change the tip of the brush, the size of it, spacing in between. I like to keep it at 1% and select that brush. We're gonna deselect this menu, so there you go. And we can start creating our pattern with the Symmetry tool. We select it and we get a drop down menu with all the options. The only two ones that you can change or manipulate would be the radial and the mandala one. I like to use the mandala one. The minimum is 3 and the maximum is 10. And what that means is just the sides of our mandala. So we select OK. And something that I like to do is grabbing the corners and making sure that they're all the way at the end of my artboard. A way to manipulate the Symmetry tool is by selecting Shift and making it however you'd like. However, I would like to keep it as a square. And we can go ahead and start drawing with our brush tool. Make sure you select it. And let's say you made a mistake. You could always use the eraser tool. It behaves the same as the brush tool. Or you could always press Command Z on a Mac or Control Z on a Windows. Once you have the size of the brush that you like, we can just start drawing. All the sides of our mandala are gonna behave the same way. I like to change the color in between just so that it looks more vibrant. A way to manipulate the size of the brush without going in the menu would be left bracket to decrease the size and right bracket to increase the size. So one of the things that you have to be aware of when creating your pattern is that all the corners matter. So it's important to connect all the corners, because once we have our pattern set and done, we're gonna go ahead and see that this corner is gonna line up with this corner. So to see how the pattern is looking, we can just select the move tool to deselect that symmetry tool. So I kind of like how it's looking, but I want to work more on the sides. So we select the brush tool, make sure our layer has been selected again. So once our pattern is done and it looks how we want it to look like, we're gonna go ahead and select edit. Then we're gonna select define pattern. I'm gonna name it mandala. Select OK. And our pattern has been saved. And we can go ahead and create new file. And since I want this to be in the background of my phone, I'm gonna select my phone by going to mobile and selecting the phone that I have. Select create. And we're gonna go ahead and go to layer, select new fill layer, pattern, and you can select OK, and that's the pattern that we just made. We can change the scale however we'd like. It can be bigger. You can always input the number. So let's say I like that size. We select OK, and I want to move the pattern around. And that's it. For more information, visit adobe.arizona.edu, and thank you so much for watching.